Hi guys, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Today we're going to ask the question, does the narcissist really know what he's doing? Now we've concluded that this person is mentally ill, so they know what they're doing. Now, if we consider when you were initially taken hostage, it is very, very real fact that your narcissist had very likely presented as a friend or interested party. They were summing you up. They were listening to every word you said. They were concluding what they believed to be special and important to you. They were then creating this entirely fake person, this illusion of a person that was just like you, that mirrored you, that shared your values and your interests and your hobbies, and was going to present as the ideal person for you, a soulmate. How the hell do you do that by accident? I mean, how does that just, happen? It doesn't. This is a very calculated, narcissistic move. They all do it, all of them. So I would have to say that as far as that early setup and priming you for abuse, absolutely knew what they were doing. They were very, very intentful in their actions. Now, this sicko has got you kind of interested, and you're a little intrigued. So next thing you know, they start with that idealization and love bombing phase. Again, nothing is happening here by accident, guys. Absolutely intentful. The narcissist has but one purpose, and that is to get you hooked, get you primed, get you in position, because now they are going to unleash some ugly hell up in your life like you have never seen before. Why? Because it makes them happy. It truly does. Not happy in a way that you become happy over something, but in a soul feeding, vampire feeding sort of way, like uh, drug addicts finding a bag of crack, right? Like that. Now they got you hooked, they got you primed, they got you in position, and now what they're going to start to do is they're going to start to test you. Now, I absolutely knew I was being tested, but what I thought I was being tested for was sort of an underlying possibility of an abandonment issue with Trevor, because Trevor had been adopted. And clearly, I mean, even from the earliest stages, it was very, very obvious there was something wrong with Trevor. Standing narcissism or that lurking evil. I believe that he had abandonment issues, and that's what we were dealing with. So when I would feel him testing me, and yes, I was aware that I was being tested, I believed it was really the product of his abandonment issues. Whew. Way off track. Now, during this testing stage, you're going to experience small bits of abuse, small levels of abuse that are easily dismissed with gaslighting. And yeah, you're starting to question your sanity a little bit, but I'll tell you, Trevor jumped in pretty deep, pretty fast. Now, one night, he was just a drunken idiot, and this is fairly early in the relationship. I stayed with him a lot, but I still had my own place at that time. So that night, I leave in a taxi because he's a train wreck. And when I come back in the morning, he's on the sofa, he's licking his wounds, he's, in this pity pot so deep, I just really, really feeling bad about himself. So I think, oh my God, he's remorseful. Now, of course, I'm thinking, Captain Shithead over here is remorseful. So I say, oh, Trevor, I love you. It's okay. I'm assuming that this wound licking thing is some kind of an apology. And he says to me, well, you're not going to love me when you see your truck. Now, when I'd gone home the night before, I left my pretty new, shiny Ford 150 Lariat parked in the driveway. Now, my truck's all maxed out. I got leather seats. I got AC. I got, like, everything is just maxed. So I go out. I take a look at the truck. The truck appears to be fine. And when I look inside, Oh my God, it looked like Trevor had put a tranquilized 2,000-pound brown bear in my truck, who then woke up in my truck with a fucking bee in his bonnet and wanted out. The inside of my truck was slashed, thrashed. I mean, this lunatic took a knife or a razor out there, cut so deeply through my leather seats that, yeah, he cut through all the electrical lines in the seats, cut through the AC hoses, cut through everything. He was out there in the middle of the night in some type of crazy form of narcissistic injury, because I went home and he had absolutely thrashed the inside of my truck. Okay, so what we've got now is we've got a dwarf of a man in some form of horrendous narcissistic injury with a big knife out in the night, slashing and hacking away at the inside of my truck. Now, okay, that was a red flag. Don't think I didn't see that. It was like the red flag was just wrapped around my head. I was just choking on red flag. And yeah, guess what, guys? I stayed another 4 years. Count them, 4 years. Okay, so what type of state of twisted mindfuck could I have been in? Like, this is a sign, guys. This is a sign to run the fuck away, to get in your slashed up truck and run like a motherfucker. Now, in retrospect, when I look back on that early truck slashing event, now, when you're building up abuse slowly, that's one thing. But Trevor went from like 0 to 100, wham, with a knife, right? So I had, in that moment, by staying, told Trevor, absolutely, buddy, bring on the abuse. Even slashing my truck isn't, causing me to run away. So I, in that moment, in retrospect, realized that I opened a floodgate for some really, really nasty abuse. That was the first real sign of abuse. Oh man, it got funky from there. Now, I was having a hard time kind of, trying to figure out what would drive someone to that. Well, of course, Trevor, through days and days and days of gaslighting and, belittling, somehow convinces me that this was my fault, that this was a direct result my actions and the abuse I had inflicted on him by going home overnight. Now, how I end up buying that, I gotta tell you, by this point, guys, my mind was definitely in pretty sad shape. I was not thinking clearly. I had been already, had seen quite a bit of abuse and had been gaslit pretty hard. And I just, yeah, I guess somehow I did believe in some way that me leaving him, yeah, it was my fault. I somehow believe that. Guys, there is no way, and I could go on and on and on and on with stories of horrible, disgusting things that Trevor did. I'm going to tell you, never once did Trevor do anything by accident. Your narc isn't doing anything by accident. Everything is extremely methodical, well thought out, well planned out. While you're living in your life with this maniac, you're going through your life in a fluid way. You're getting the laundry done. You're, getting a shopping list ready. You're thinking maybe, get some new throw pillows for the sofa. That's not what they're thinking. Absolutely not. They are in a very dark, very sick place at all times, plotting evil against you, because they can only feel fulfilled when they've inflicted harm. This is how they are justified, validated. They find comfort in this. This makes them feel whole. So if you're still with your narc, you got to realize when you look over at them and you're thinking, hell, what should I make for dinner? They're plotting against you. They're constantly plotting against you. Great determination, great intent, and absolutely those pieces of shit know exactly what they're doing. Exactly. Coming to terms with the fact that the wonderful, beautiful person that you initially fell in love with is nothing but an illusion can be extremely heartbreaking, extremely. It's almost like a death, and part of what keeps us there is, well, you've seen it on TV. Some woman's child has been kidnapped and the woman is frantic and she is pleading with the public to get her information and she's desperately looking for her child. And I think something like that's happening, right? Where your true love has just vanished. And now you're desperately trying to find them. And you're trying to find them in the monster that's sitting on the couch. Well, they can never get that back again. That was a one-shot deal. That was just for entrapment. They really weren't there. They could only hang on to that illusion and continue to create that illusion for so long. And once that bubble's burst, it's gone. And you're never, never finding that person again. And from that point on, everything that they are doing is geared at hurting you, diminishing you, shaming you, humiliating you, inflicting harm on you, putting all the blame for everything on you. You are the scapegoat. You are that source of vampire blood to them. That's it. That's all you are. And absolutely everything they've done to hurt you, they did with great intent. Sorry, I wish it wasn't true.